Good morning. I'm Catherine Cuellar, Director of Communications, Outreach, and Marketing for the City of Dallas. We have simultaneous Spanish interpretation available for this press conference. You can listen to the audio of our interpreter by clicking on the globe on the left-hand side of the screen and selecting the Spanish channel. There are also English and multilingual closed captions available by clicking on the button with the letters CC. Hola, tenemos interpretación simultánea en español disponible. Puede escuchar el audio de nuestro intérprete haciendo clic en el globo del lado izquierdo de la pantalla y seleccionando el canal en español. También hay subtítulos en inglés y multilingües disponibles haciendo clic en el botón con las letras CC. Again, Catherine Cuellar, good morning from the Emergency Operations Center of Dallas City Hall, which is closed. However, I will begin with an update from our Office of Emergency Management Director, Travis Houston.
Good morning, everybody. This is Travis Houston, Interim Director of the Office of Emergency Management. As Catherine mentioned, the Emergency Operations Center did close down yesterday at 5 p.m. for winter weather operations. We've seen that road conditions have improved significantly, and so there was no longer a need to have an in-person activation in the EOC. However, it is still extremely cold, and so we continue to encourage residents to check on their neighbors, make sure that if they're out and about to be bundled up and prepared for the cold. If you're wanting any cold weather preparedness tips, definitely visit ready.gov. There's a lot of great resources there. And we'd like to remind everyone that now is the time to figure out where your water shutoff is. As things warm up, that's when we start seeing issues. So it would be extremely prudent to find out where that is at your home. And that's all I got. Back to you, Catherine.
Thank you. We will now go to our Department of Homeless Solutions, led by Christine Crossley.
Good morning, Catherine. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. We are continuing inclement weather shelter here through at least tomorrow. Look for an updated press release tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. to talk about what we are doing after that. 3 sites are currently open. Oaklawn United Methodist Church is open. They will be shutting down tomorrow, I believe, but again, look for an update tomorrow. And the Fair Park Center at Grand and Austin Street 2. Those addresses are Fair Park Grand Place, 3701 Grand Avenue. Austin Street 2 is 2929 Hickory Street, and Oaklawn United Methodist Church is 3014 Oaklawn Avenue. As of right now, I don't have the count for Oaklawn, but at Fair Park, as of last night, they had served. As of last night, they had a total of 840 guests on the ground. Austin Street 2 had 237 on the ground. Clients served to date. We have served 1,513 clients. All pets are welcome. SPCA and Dallas Animal Services are working together to make sure that all pets have what they need. We are also sourcing volunteers and donations. Both of those can be connected with through DallasHomelessSolutions.com. We do think that there will be a longer haul for inclement weather shelter as we have weather moving forward in the week that looks to meet our triggers through at least Saturday. And we're exhausting wave 1 of volunteers, so we could really use a second wave if people are interested, even as the weather warms up tomorrow, but then appears to plunge back down. So again, look for more information on that as our press release comes out at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Many thanks, Christine Crossley. Is anyone on from Dallas Public Library? Joe Gadice, I see you.
Yes, good morning from Dallas Public Library. We are currently operating all locations open to the public, and we have some that have some lower temperatures than we like in the 50s low 50s and 60s. So while we're not heating to our capacity, it's better than outside. Right now, we are still looking at possibly closing some locations earlier if we can't get these temperatures up, but they're slowly rising. So we have our fingers crossed. All locations are open right now.
Thank you. And those are safe places for people in need of warming relief because again, it is warmer indoors than outdoors. And if there are changes to the operating hours, those will be posted at dallascitynews.net and shared with our text subscribers. If someone is on from Park and Recreation, please advise.
Good morning, Steve Baker, Superintendent with Park and Recreation Department. Going through or experiencing a delayed opening this morning, so we will be opening all of the administrative offices at noon today and evaluating the weather to early closure looks like. And golf courses will remain closed today, and they will also be evaluating conditions. So, thank you.
Steve, we were having a difficult time hearing you. Your audio sounded very faint. If you're able to keep talking until we can hear you and maybe repeat that information.
Sure. Let me try this. Try. How about now? Is this any better?
It's a little better. You could also speak loudly.
Okay, speak louder.
Please, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so recreation centers are currently in a delayed opening. Recreation centers and administrative offices will reopen at noon today. We'll continue to evaluate the weather for the remainder of the day as well, potentially early closure, but I think we're in very good shape. And our golf courses remain closed at this time as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Community court, municipal court and detention services. I'm not hearing from them, so I will advise that the municipal court customer service is open today, but all trials were canceled and notices will be sent by mail for those to be rescheduled. Now we will go to Dallas Fire Rescue.
Morning, everyone. This is Captain Bors with the Office of the Executive Assistant over Operations. We have maintained solid operations. We did not have to enact any of our additional resources. So that's good news. We've been dealing with a little bit of issues at several of our facilities, but we've not had to relocate any resources. We've been able to work with building services and our other internal partners to address those HVAC systems. So that's also good. The roads are in fantastic shape. Kudos to those who are maintaining those, and we have been able to adequately address the sheltering needs through our partnership with Homeless Solutions. We have seen the expected rise in certain call types of our responses. The cutoff water calls are starting to tick up, and as Travis Houston mentioned, we expect those to continue to be at a high level as things start to warm up, and we will see those burst pipes. But other than that, it has been nothing that our normal resources cannot handle, and we will continue to monitor the situation very carefully. That's what we have.
Thank you. Now we will go to Public Works, followed by Dallas Water Utilities.
Thank you, Catherine. First of all, can you hear me because I have problem with microphone?
We can hear you and see you. Thank you, Ali.
Sure, yeah. Ali Hatifi, I'm a Director of Public Works. After we pre-treated the road with brine solution, we continued our sand and salt operation where needed and addressing any emergency call that we receive at the time. However, as roads are clear now, We're going back to our normal operation. However, any new call that we're going to receive, we're going to address it as quick as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Dallas Water Utilities.
Hi, good morning. My name is Eduardo Valerio, and I'm the Assistant Director with Dallas Water Utilities. I'd like to report that all water, wastewater, and
Eduardo,
stormwater
I'm sorry.
systems.
I'm sorry to
Can
interrupt.
you hear me?
Eduardo, do you have a camera?
Yes, I do.
Can you turn it on, please?
It is
Yeah,
on.
good.
Okay,
Is it
thank
on?
you.
Yep, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. I'd just like to report that all water, wastewater, and stormwater systems are working properly as intended. As you know, as temperature drastically changed, we experienced uh, a series of water main breaks across Dallas. We have been responding to multiple locations across the city, and the most recent incident that was reported was this morning in downtown Woodward, Rogers, and Pearl. Crews were dispatched immediately to investigate and isolate the water main. We've been coordinating with the multiple agencies, Department of Transportation, franchise utilities, so that we can uh, perform the repairs. Some lanes will need to be closed so that we can complete the pipeline repairs. So this morning, no businesses and residential customers were impacted from a water service interruption perspective. We estimate that repairs will be complete in about 6 to 8 hours. Um, on the sanding operations, we completed our sanding routes yesterday afternoon, and as weather conditions improve, we've been scaling down our operations. We have 4 scouts, 4 trucks doing the monitoring of the route so that we make sure that roads are in good condition. We are responding to main repairs as well, so that we can provide sanding support as well. I'd like to remind the public that if there's a water emergency, to call 214-651-1441 or 311 so that we can provide support immediately. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Eduardo, and apologies again for interrupting. Sanitation.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Clifton Gillespie, Director of Sanitation for the City of Dallas. Garbage and recycle collections remain suspended today due to the extremely low temperatures and wind chills, which are just unsafe for our staff that are assigned to work outdoors, particularly the 200+ people that work on the back of collection vehicles. So garbage collections in Monday and Tuesday service areas will be collected tomorrow, Wednesday. Recycle collections for those Monday and Tuesday areas will not resume until next week. For those customers, the close the lid policy for recycle carts will be suspended next week in Monday and Tuesday areas. Customers can bundle any overflow recyclable materials and place those on top of or next to their recycle carts. And for our customers in Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday areas, at this time, garbage and recycle collections will just be delayed by 1 day this week. So sanitation crews are doing their best tomorrow to collect all garbage in Monday and Tuesday areas, but it will still be extremely cold tomorrow morning, which may have some impact on our ability to safely complete all routes by the end of the day. We do appreciate everyone's patience and understanding during this challenging winter weather event. Please continue to monitor dallas.gov/sanitation or dallascitynews.net for further service advisories. Or as always, we encourage our customers to download and subscribe to personalized service advisories on the Dallas Sanitation mobile app. Thank you again very much.
Thank you very much. And now we will go to Dallas Animal Services.
Yes, so Dallas Animal Services is operating as normal today. We have the shelter is open from 11 to 7 and available to process adoptions, fosters, and our pet support team is on site to provide assistance to anyone in need. We do still have dog houses and are working this morning to secure additional straw for anyone who needs to insulate a dog house that they already have. So if people are in need of those supplies, they can just come straight up to 1818 Northwest Moreland. We have 6 units in the field continuing to respond to calls. Since Saturday morning, we've received a total of 292 weather-related calls and have responded as of 7 a.m. this morning to 288 of those, with 4 calls currently in progress. And that's it.
Thank you, Sarah Sheik with Dallas Animal Services. We'll now go to Code Compliance Services. If there's no one from Code Compliance Services on, I will just advise that for issues regarding heat and water at multi-tenant homes, those may be reported to 311. Also, for minimum property standards, please visit dallascitynews.net. I'll next go to Court and Detention Services if they're here. If not, their update was shared previously. Is anyone from Dallas Police Department on?
Yes, good morning. This is Assistant Chief Igo. I command the Patrol Bureau. We tracked several metrics over the last several days during the inclement weather period. And we had 92 calls regarding cold weather, 19 accidents, and 22 we transported to the warming facility. During that time span, we also were able to maintain our call loads within reasonable response times and did not have to bring in any more resources. We'll continue to support the efforts of the Fair Park Warming Center through this week into the next weekend. And that's all I have.
Thanks for that information. Is the Department of Transportation on? If not, can we go to the Department of Aviation?
Gus is on. We just can't hear him.
Okay, well, we can hear you 311, so if you want to go now, then we can come
Sure.
back to Gus. Thank you.
Good morning, Daisy Fast, Director of 311. We are back to normal business operations today, and we continue to encourage residents to call 311 for any city service requests. And just to echo some of the comments from my colleagues earlier, as we start warming up, that's when we'll start receiving an increase in water main break calls. So we encourage residents to actually call 311 directly. I think Water Department provided the water customer service line, but we actually prefer people to call 311 directly for faster assistance and faster service. Just a reminder, we're open 24 hours, 7 days a week. And then we also encourage everyone to download the Dallas 311 mobile app to submit service requests themselves in lieu of calling 311 or utilizing the online portal, which is located at dallas.gov. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Concarly in Department of Transportation, can we try again?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, thank you so much. We had less than 15 traffic signals either on flash or out due to mainly power outage. Staff is addressing all these, and especially in the areas where power has been restored. So we just encourage folks to be careful as they approach the intersections where the power is out and the signal is out. So treat it as a multi-way stop sign and be aware of the presence of pedestrians in some of these areas. Other than that, we will continue to monitor and address any potential issues that may come up. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone on from the Department of Aviation?
Good morning, Patrick Carino, Director of Aviation. We've been in normal operations at the airports since yesterday. We continue today. There's been cancellations and delays the last few days, so we'd encourage you to check with your airlines for that information. It is much better today than it was yesterday, but we still have a few cancellations and delays. Other than that, we will continue on in normal operations. Thanks.
Thank you. We'll now take questions from those who registered in order of their RSVPs, and we'll go through as many as we have time for questions, starting with LP Phillips, followed by Dallas Morning News.
And I'm not sure who to address this one to. We've been telling people shut off your sprinklers because that stuff gets on the road and it could make intersections hazardous. Is that a problem? Has that been a problem? And have any accidents been attributed to that?
Sounds like that's a three-part question for water and possibly public works and transportation as well, but you are correct. If you have sprinklers set on a timer, you are urgently advised to manually override that until we are out of these freezing temperatures. And additionally, now is the time to locate your master water shutoff and any instrument or tool needed for master water shutoff, as tomorrow, when the temperatures get above freezing, is when pipes that are frozen now may begin to leak. As far as whether or not any accidents are attributed to any water on the roads, I would defer to DPD or transportation or public works. Not hearing any, but they may have a message
Catherine,
for you next. Oh,
from a transportation perspective, I have not heard any accidents related to that that is impacting our transportation facilities. So.
Thank you. So I think the answer is anecdotally that would be a problem, but fortunately the roads have been very clear due to the sunshine that we've had to evaporate a lot of the frost. Dallas Morning News, followed by D Magazine. Dallas Morning News. We'll come back. D Magazine is up and NBC's next. I heard someone come off mute, but I'm not hearing your question. Oh, there you are. Go ahead. We're not hearing you. We'll come back. NBC, followed by Fox. Anyone from NBC? NBC5 or Telemundo? All right, we'll go to Fox. Any questions from Fox, followed by Univision? Univision, followed by Spectrum. All right, Spectrum. Any questions from Spectrum? WFAA. CBS.
Hi, yeah, Andrea Lucia here with CBS. I know there are people who are new to North Texas, and maybe some of us in North Texas sort of take the pipe issue for granted, the busted pipes. But I know other parts of the country have cold temperatures like this much more often. And could somebody explain why it's an issue for us here? I've heard that we don't bury the pipes as deeply, maybe because of our soil. But why is it that we have issues with pipes every time the weather gets so low?
Yes, I think I can answer that question. Is my camera on?
Yes, it is.
Can you
Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
We can hear
All
and
right.
see
So
you.
as
Thank you.
far as, yes, as far as water main breaks in Dallas, as temperatures change drastically, our infrastructure and particularly the pipelines seem to have some movement, and that what it creates some pipes moving up and down, and infrastructure that has been in service for a significant amount of years, can potentially experience some breaks in the pipes. So it's pretty common for the area. does not necessarily have to do with how deep the pipe is, but it's a combination of different factors. It is the temperature changes, it is pipe materials, it is the age of the infrastructure, and a combination of those factors could potentially create impact on the pipeline infrastructure.
So are older homes and older infrastructure more at risk of this happening?
Older infrastructure, and what I refer to older infrastructure is pipelines that are serving homes, which are normally located under roads. So any pipelines on the private side would be plumbing pipelines that are serving those homes inside in private property. So that would be the property owner's responsibility for maintenance and repairs, and that could be attributed to the age of the plumbing system that they have in older houses.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. LP, did you have any additional questions?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okay.
Can I ask
11.
about the library?
You may.
You guys were talking about the temperature being in the 50s and 60s in some of the libraries. What's going on there?
If Joe Gadice is still on the call,
Yes, here I am. Hello again. So yes, so we have, I can do a quick count. We have 4 locations where the temperatures are below 50 degrees. Actually, one location, sorry, that is still below 50 degrees. Everyone is inching back up nicely, slowly but nicely. So most of our locations that were in the lower temps now are getting closer to 60 degrees, which is a lot more favorable for staff remaining in the building. So at this point in time, it looks like we will probably remain open. We're giving it another hour and hoping those temperatures come up a little bit more. But as we said before, it's really our goal to stay open so that our locations can be warming stations for those whose temperatures are far lower. Maybe their homes are without heat. So that is our goal right now. So right now we're staying open. And of course, check the website for updates in an hour, but it looks like we're going to keep all locations open.
Is that an HVAC issue or what? I mean, what's going on that's keeping it below 50?
I honestly, the building services is looking at them now. Some of them needed to be restarted. It's, some are just struggling with the temperatures getting so low to heat up because they're set a little bit lower overnight. I think it's just a matter of catching up because it's just so cold and some of the systems are a little older.
Thank you. Catherine, can I toss out one final question?
Yes, ma'am.
I've been on these calls after previous storms. I remember with Rocky talking about bringing in I think warmers after the storm 2 years ago, sort of mobile units. I remember Dallas Fire talking about a program it tested where I think it was sort of proactively being on patrol looking for people out in the cold. And I'm just curious about some of the things that have been tested and learned from previous storms that perhaps helped things go smoothly this year and maybe prevented things that we've seen in years past. Any sort of lessons learned, because it does seem like we've kind of come through this cold snap pretty well.
Rocky Vaz is honorably retired from
I
more than
know.
3 service with the City of Dallas. So it is my pleasure to introduce Interim Director of Office of Emergency Management, Travis Houston, and I imagine Office of Homeless Solutions Director Christine Crossley may also be able to speak to their efforts to actively go out and seek people who are experiencing homelessness and get them in temporary inclement weather shelters. But first, Travis Houston.
Thank you. So, I mean, it's just like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And after each one of these events, invariably there's lessons learned, and we identify what those areas for improvement are, and we find ways to address those. And so over the last several years, certainly, I mean, Winter Storm Uri being the biggest one, there were a lot of lessons learned. And the things that you mentioned, we made a lot of investments in redundant power and mobile heating systems and things that we can do. And the biggest thing has been installing redundant power at a lot of installing fixed generators at a lot of facilities, so that while we do have mobile generators and mobile HVAC units, that takes a lot of, logistically that's a lot to move around, although we are always ready to do it if we need to. So if we have a fixed generator at a location and we can be confident that if the power goes off, it'll fail over to a generator, that's really, really nice and makes us more comfortable. But I think that the overall thing is after every one of these, we learn lessons and then we apply them to the next event. So you just get better and better, and these are certainly not going away. They'll probably become more frequent and more severe. And so from the Office of Emergency Management standpoint, we're always looking at that worst case scenario and planning in that direction. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, and the places where you've added fixed generators, there's libraries and rec centers, or where have those been?
Yes, yeah, libraries and rec centers. And then we have 8 mobile HVAC systems that are paired up with generators that can be deployed. Those are less robust than what a fixed generator can provide. And those are really for if we saw a very widespread extended power outage type situation, where we knew we were going to have to open a lot of facilities. But our goal is, if we can default to a fixed generator site, that's always going to be our first go-to.
And how many of those do you have where you've added fixed generators to?
8.
No.
Right
8,
now,
okay.
8. Yeah.
Oh, so 8 fixed and 8 mobile?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
And if Christine Crossley is available for Office of Homeless Solutions to talk about their outreach team efforts to people to get them into care.
Yes, thank you for that question. So Office of Homeless Solutions and our partners have come a long way in the past few years in really being able to financially supplement and help provide an infrastructure for what is already being done by partners and has been done for a long time. So we're very grateful to have full council support and a $1.25, I believe, million budget specifically for inclement weather shelter, which allows us to have an external partner who leads all things inclement weather shelter, which is Austin Street. We also lease their old building, affectionately known as Austin Street 2 at 2929 Hampton or Southampton. Nope, not 2929 Hickory, excuse me. And also have a short-term lease with Fair Park to be able to go in as we are right now whenever we have a larger mass congregate need over several days. So that entire mechanism has really helped us shore up an infrastructure and also provided direction for transportation. And so that now has always been a collective effort, but now again, it is a formalized collective effort to get people in and out of the cold across OHS, our partners, Austin Street, who run the Dallas Connector, and Dallas Fire Rescue, who are very kindly running overnight shifts to make sure that no one is left out in the cold.
Thank you, Christine.
So Dallas Fire Rescue is it patrolling actively? Is that what it's doing overnight? Looking for people?
So, and I'm not sure if Dallas Fire Rescue is on and wants to talk more specifically about their part, but Office of Homeless Solutions and other transportations methods run throughout the day. And for Office of Homeless Solutions at 9 p.m., our 311 app that lets you flag us down for that shuts off and it goes over to 911. And Dallas Fire Rescue is responding to those calls overnight.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Captain Boris with Dallas Fire. I can address that part of it. So, along with Dallas Police Department, we have always been out at all times, 24/7 on the street. And as was just mentioned, Office of Homeless Solutions has done a phenomenal job over the last couple of years of giving us a place to take individuals that we find, especially overnight, that aren't having a medical emergency, but it's going to turn into one when we see them out. So our members are out all the time answering, going to and from emergency calls, and they are on the lookout. We don't dedicate resources right now to just patrol, but our members are out at all times and all hours in all areas of the city. And when they find an individual that is unsheltered, we will offer them transportation to one of those available shelters. So we're happy to provide that service, and Office of Homeless Solutions has done a fantastic job of providing us a destination for those individuals. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
And while we have you, Dallas Fire Rescue, there was a question in the chat from D Magazine who we couldn't hear. Just wanting to explain, please, the precautions that people should take. This is for Dallas Fire Rescue and for Dallas Water Utilities. If people have frozen pipes or have lost power, if they are in need of generator power, trying to thaw their pipes, any safety tips that you can share for D Magazine are appreciated. Rob Borst, you want to go first since I see your camera's on?
Oh, sure. I was going to let Water go first because it's mostly their purview, but I will give a little bit from a fire standpoint. So obviously burst pipes can present an issue that we respond to on a regular basis. And as I mentioned previously, we are seeing an expected increase in those type of calls, and we expect that to continue over the next day or so, at least as the weather warms up and some of those frozen pipes begin to cause problems. I will say that they can cause problems with electrical wiring and with the fire monitoring systems. The biggest thing that we would really like to stress to people is do not try to what's called sweat the pipes. We have had instances in the past where fires have been caused by people trying to apply heat directly to pipes, and that's not a safe practice. And so I would caution people against that, but I do want to kick it over to Water because that's their purview on how to deal with frozen pipes directly.
Eduardo Valerio, we see you.
Okay, yes. From a water utility standpoint, of course, any exposed pipe needs to be insulated, provide the insulation so that we prevent those kind of issues. And of course, if there's any leaks or any pipe running, it's gonna create problems. So we will encourage the public to contact the 311 so that we can send a crew to address, investigate, and provide further support.
Thank you both. Are there any other questions or media outlets that joined late or departments that joined late that did not get to report out? All right. Well, hearing none, as mentioned, our Emergency Operations Center is closed, but now is the time to find your main water shut off and find the instrument or implement used to shut the water off, as we do expect that those frozen pipes will begin to reveal leaks beginning tomorrow when temperatures do get above freezing. We also are still in need of volunteers for our temporary inclement weather shelters, which will be operating as thresholds are met, and daily updates will continue to be provided each morning, or you can get more information at dallashomelesssolutions.com. For other operational impact, please visit dallascitynews.net. Thank you all. Stay warm, stay safe, look out for your neighbors, and thank you for sharing this vital, life-saving, timely information.
Thank you.
Thank you, much appreciated.